Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to some Feed the Beast Beyond. I am glad you all are here. Thank you all for hanging around, waiting for me. And we're ready to get going. So, got a lot to show you. I got a lot to tell you. As you can see here, since the last time we have played, our hobbit hole is fairly gone. Now, where have I been? Well, I've been right here. I have done a little bit of work. Now, okay, it's been almost a month and a half since I've done a video. And it's been because I have been absolutely crazy busy at work. I've not had the time nor really the energy to feel like I could put in a good effort into making some videos for you all. So that's kind of where I've been. And also, you know, anybody that's has been around my channel for a while knows that I don't want to say I have, I guess I do, allergy issues this time of year, and it gets pretty brutal sometimes. And I live in one of the worst places for allergies, and I didn't have that problem until I moved here, so it's kind of where we're at. But so hopefully everything is good to go. Work is good to go. I'm good to go. So we're going to kind of go over what we've been up to, where we've been. We've already been where we've been, but kind of show you all around. I've more or less been doing nothing but gathering resources. As you can see, we have quite a bit of stuff. But as far as getting deep into some of the mods, I have not. And that's kind of what we're going to finish this series with. We're going to work with Refined Storage. I've decided to stick with it instead of switching to AE2 and work on automating all the things. And I have got a pretty good start at some of the stuff. If we go in here and look at our craftables, we've got quite a bit of stuff on crafting. Actually, before we go into all of our stuff, let's take a look around here. We've got, this is the spawn area. Spawn is actually, our original spawn is right down there. We've got, let's go into the nether right quick. And I went too fast through it. That is so loud. I thought I had all that stuff turned way down. So we have come in the nether here. I still got my death markers. That was where we tried to kill some withers, and I had a brain fart. I'll tell you a story about that. We killed 2 withers up here in the ceiling and completely forgot about this little block right here, the mob grinder. And as you can see from our last playthrough where we done Sky Factory 3, it is a lot easier to make, and I completely forgot about it. So we died a whole bunch of times for nothing. As far as there is about 9 of us. This ghast is still really loud. I thought I had, where's the hostile creatures? Hush. There is me, Shingraph, Variety, Gypsy, Maximus, Radio, Birdie, Grumbling Mist, and there's been at least one other added to it. I don't even remember his name. I've got it wrote down somewhere, but I don't know if he's been in here yet or not. But we got our starting power from down here. I've got one of the little pumps down here that's been sucking this place dry, and it has got a ton of lava out of that. So, but we got our first venture into the nether come over here to the fortress. It's more or less just right here, but it's a fairly small one. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's nothing else. But, you know, it got us to where we needed. Now, as far as getting the wither skulls go, I set up a farm right up here. Wait, where's it at? Right up here. As you can see, while I was setting it up, I had stuff going everywhere. We've got zombie pigmen all around here, walking around with wither skulls on. Where is my entrance? Haha, there it is. So we had this thing set up. And we've still got a lot of skulls in there. But we got the mob masher with beheading on it. And if we go up in here, we've got the restored mob spawner from Extra Utilities 2. And that was more or less how we got the beginnings for our withers. So that's pretty much everything inside of the Nether. That's more or less what this is going to wind up being. It's just going to kind of be a little bit of a tour of what we've got going on. We'll talk about what we're going to be doing. That kind of thing. So, come on. We have had issues with the server. We got into... Variety and Gypsy got into doing the forestry with butterflies and stuff like that. Excuse me. And they more or less took over the server. The mining dimension here, this is actually all the quarrying I have done as far as using any kind of block. It was this right here, and that was it. And if you go down this hole, we've done some strip mining down here. I have this set up. This was so we could recharge our drills. I think I still got my drill on me. Yeah, I still got my drill on me. You know, run this thing out of power, come over here, charge it back up, and that's kind of how I got the start of everything that we've got going on. It was quite a long process. You know, I've more or less played just a few hours here and there. It wasn't a whole lot. But it's all been kind of getting to a point where I feel good with all the resources and stuff that we do have. Now down here, oh, there we go. Catch up with me here. We've got the resource miner. This is just a tier 2. And it's gotten quite a bit of stuff. I more or less set this thing up for no reason other than to get the mica blocks that we needed for all of our other stuff with environmental tech. This is actually the ore miner, and I had it set up for the cyan color to get diamonds. We have had a serious issue with getting diamonds and gold in this playthrough. I keep running out. We get into the draconic stuff and need a lot of that, and I was having issues with it. So I've set that up. That took care of our diamond issues that we had, and then I'll show you the rest of what we've done with the ores and stuff like that. But we do have our tier 7 ball of power here, and it is completely filled up. It is running all the power here, and Shingraph is tapped into it too, so it's running his base. And since I've built this, though, Variety and the rest of them haven't been on, so they haven't been able to tap in it. But we've got enough power for everybody to use. Now, these are the greatest things that were ever made in modded Minecraft. These are the Woot farms. I've got several of them. I've got these 3, and then I've got some more inside. We'll go show them later. This one is actually doing Blizz. I've got it. It's not turned off, but I've got it going slower. We've got, you've got different modifiers and stuff like that that you can add to these things to where the rates are a lot better. But this one I was doing because we need gelid cryothium for any of the thermal expansion stuff. And we still got some more to do with that. This one here is spawning withers. And we've got a ton of nether stars. We're up to 1.9 million. This is actually what I have been using to generate all the power. That is what this thing goes to. And if you go down here, you can see there is, I think it's the stack, it might be 2 stacks of nether star generators. And if you can't stand withering effect, you will die down here. It was a pain to get set up, but it is working absolutely fabulously as far as trying to get power stuff taken care of. This one over here is set up with the Ender Dragon. This thing is awesome because we are getting the dragon's breath out of this thing. We are getting dragon eggs out of it, and we're getting dragon hearts. But also, this thing is an awesome draconium farm. We never have to worry about mining for draconium. This thing, basically every time you kill a Ender Dragon, you get about 1.5 stacks or so of draconium dust from them as it is. So we've got tons of it. Now I've got more inside that we'll get to here in just a minute. So, but this was our initial smeltery that we had set up. It's really not changed a whole lot other than me putting the ender tank on it. And I went with water mills for grid power. We've got the dragon egg ones in there. We are running 1500 grid power now, and actually not got a whole lot being used. One other block to show you before I take off and show you the rest of it, and then we'll get inside the house. Terrain lighter. This thing is awesome. You put this thing down, give it some coal, give it some torches, and it will light up in a nice little pattern a whole area for you. It is awesome. Alright, so if we go back inside here, go down to our mining area. This I do remember, I think, showing you all. We've done a lot of mining down here. This is actually where I was just messing the other day with my staff of power and wanted to test it out and see what it would do. So, but if we go down here, this will actually take us, this is the area that Variety and Gypsy was mining. It is a spawn chunk. This whole area just spawns the absolute crap out of stuff, slime. So, but Variety and Gypsy and Maximus had done a whole lot of mining down in here. They started to build a rail all the way back out to my place, but it didn't get all the way there. If we come down here, this is no longer a functioning thing. Quit. I've turned it off. This was our mob farm, and I don't know if this was what was causing lag around here or not. I need to light this area up here. But we were, like I said, we were having a lot of issues with lag, and it really started when I built this mob farm down here, and we got quite a bit of stuff out of here. Some of it has been used, some of it has not. You can see we're about out of ender pearls in here, where people have been taking stuff out of them. But basically, it served its purpose and done a really good job for what we needed it to. I need to take that glowstone because that's one of the things we are needing. So, but then I have the XP running down through here, over here, and this was our blaze spawner that I set up. We've got just a normal blaze spawner. I turn my magnet off, that I brought back from the nether with a chest transporter, and this was where we got our start with the blaze rods. And then this is Experience Obelisk. This is hooked up to this farm, and it's hooked up to the mob farm to sit and collect all the experience. And we got this stuff, and anything else just gets voided out here in the trash. So, doors, I hate them. Slime. Oh, it's loading up all this stuff out here. So we come out here. This is Gypsies and Varieties and Grumbling Mist area. They build so much better than I have. They've built a house. They've got. We'll go inside and check them all out. This is their enchanting room. Oh, I got step assist on. Quit. Really? They've got their smeltery room in here. They've got their barn with all the different animals that they've gone out and collected. I hadn't seen this back here. I have no idea what this was going to be. I guess it's a little fishing ship. That's what it is. There's all kinds of fish there. I hadn't seen that. So, but they got the barn here. I believe Variety built this, or at least most of it. Pretty sure she did. Now, this area was completely covered here, over here, with the different forestry trees. They had bred up most all the different ones. I think they are in a chest over here. Yeah, as you can see, there's a bunch of different kinds here. And I mean, the butterflies and cocoons were just absolutely out of control. Now, they've fixed the cocoon issue in one of the latest updates to the pack, so maybe they'll be able to get all this stuff put back in here. But they have started a butterfly house to where they've caught most of the different types of butterflies that there are. So that's pretty cool. And then we go inside the house here. And one of these days, I will be able to decorate like this. I don't have a decorating bone in my body. So this is their main area. You got your living room area here. You've got bedrooms everywhere. This was a kitchen area. It's a bedroom now. And then these doors are the greatest doors ever. I love them. But now the kitchen area has been moved in here, and down here is where their storage room and all their ore processing stuff is. And then they've got the Empower and everything set up for Maxley Editions, which is something I still have yet to do. If I come into anything with Empowerment, I have to come over here and do it. That just goes down to where all the power wires and everything go through it. I'm going to sleep before we go back outside. Alright, so outside we go. I'm not sure what this house is. Oh, this is for the trees over here. Their little orchard that they have set up. I see you. Those little guys. I really need to kill some of those. That's one of the things I want to get into is the Ambers mod. Some of the stuff is pretty cool. It's a fairly early game mod, but it is what it is. So they've got their garden area set up here. Earthworms all over the place. I have still yet to ever get an earthworm. I have tried and tried and tried between in here and then in Sky Factory. I just can't get them. And just storage for some of their food stuff. So that's kind of everything that they have more or less been working on. This area over here is Shingraph's Pagoda. He has been all about the blood magic. He loves his blood magic. It has been a while, or not been a while, but it's been updated since the last time he's played in 1.7. So he has been messing around trying to learn the blood magic too. So he's got his system all set up here outside. He's got all the different types of armor for the sentient armor. And then if we go inside, nope, not inside, right here, he has his blood altar set up. And with the Woot, you can connect a Woot spawner up to a blood altar, and it more or less will keep it full for what you need it for. Something that we will eventually get into. So go back upstairs. This has something to do with the tranquility, or some of the stuff to do with blood magic. Is something that part of it that I hadn't got into yet, but we shall see later on. Let's close the doors. So we have been to the end, and it's quite a bit of ways. It's 1,500 blocks that way. That was quite an adventure, because when we did that, it was back just about 2 weeks, 3 weeks after we started the server. I really got everybody together, and it was when we were having a lot of issues with the server, and it was an absolute terrible journey going out there. But we killed the dragon nonetheless, and it really wasn't that bad. As far as anywhere we have been, I've been out this way to find a desert. I've been this way. There's a mesa biome out there. There's a couple of villages out there close. And then we've been that way to the end. And that's more or less pretty much it. I've kind of just hung around here and not done a whole lot as far as exploring goes. This doesn't have biomes aplenty in it. So we are kind of just got the vanilla spawns, and that's it. I have been over this way. This has kind of been where I've been getting all of my trees. You can still see some of the leaves that still haven't despawned from where I've been out here to pick them up. So, but now back to the guts of my house. Alright, so we have, first off, our portal to the deep dark. I have done very little mining there. It was more or less, hey, let's go ahead and make one of these. We hadn't made one of them yet. And then we also have this that's in here, and this is a void world that they put in for people to have a void world, because when they started the FTB Beyond, they weren't going to put RF Tools Dimensions in it. So I have used this, and as soon as it decides to load up, this is going to be where I keep most of my farms that would cause quite a bit of lag. I've got a tree farm out here, and that's pretty much as far as I have gotten thus far. Home. So this has more or less been our basic setup. All of these storage drawers are connected to our refined storage system. I have, as you can see, a lot of them have void upgrades to them, because emeralds were another thing that I was having issues with as far as getting, being able to do any kind of upgrades. Now we're at the point where I could actually take all this stuff down and put it into storage, because these are all full of 64K drives, and as you can see, it's not really filling up a whole lot, because I still have a ton of stuff that's just being voided. All these, the different blocks are being voided. We have no use for them to a certain extent. I have a quantum storage unit for cobblestone and several other items too. But these were the solderers that we started off with. I haven't taken them out yet. I still use them every once in a while if I've got something I need to throw together right quick. We've got our painting machine, which is, as you can see, we have no torches laying around. Those don't count. Those are candles. Those aren't torches. But we've got painted glowstone. I don't know if I can see any of them here or not. There was one right there. So we got the painted glowstone. I have done everything I can to try to hide as many cables as I can. One of the things that I've wanted to do with this playthrough is automate the stuff and try to keep everything as neat as I can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. on this side of it, it all looks nice and pretty, but then you go back here and we've got a mess of stuff. This is the ender tank that's connected to the pump that's in the nether, and then it was powering all these different magmatic dynamos, and whatever wasn't going in there was going into this. As you can see, we have a demonically gargantuan drum full of lava. Got a screen controller. I tried to do the screen from RF Tools like we did before, but then I realized I don't have anything really to hook up to it, so I haven't took that down yet. We have an aqueous accumulator igneous extruder is what it's called. There's an aqueous accumulator down here that's sucking up water, but that was for making obsidian. I hate mining obsidian. And that is one of the things that with this playthrough that I'm wanting to do. I think I said it before. I want to automate every single thing. If it can be automated, I want to automate it. It's kind of like, we'll take glass for example, and sand. Every other time that I've played where except for like when I've had the Sky Factory 3 series where I had the sand chickens, we'd more or less, oh hey, you're out of sand, let's go to the desert, let's get some sand and be done with it. I want sand here all the time. If we look, you can see I've got 388,000 sand and 400,000 snowballs, which is one other thing. I've got a Sky Factory 3 video that's been recorded. I recorded it a month ago before I stopped doing it, so that will be coming out in the next day or so. It's actually the last video that's in the series. I have finished it. Two of the things that I didn't finish, which was filling up one of the quantum storage things, and to generate a billion RF. Without playing on a server, it is almost impossible to fill up one of these things. We had everything set up to do it in that series, which you'll see when I do that video. But without this something running all the time, and I don't like to leave my computer running for days at a time. So that was one of the things that we didn't do that we are going to do here, and it's actually probably won't be that hard for us to do, because we've got stuff just going into them, all over the place. And then the billion RF, I'm going to try to do. I don't know, like the easiest way to do it is to just do a bunch of nether star generators and be done with it. I don't want to do that because it's a ton of lag. When these things are off, and like they are right now, we're just a few of them every once in a while will turn on, it's not bad. But when you start throwing all these machines to working together at the same time, then it gets bad. So I don't really want to do the nether star generator. We're going to get into some other stuff and we will see. So now down here we've got our quantum quarry set up, and this thing is just been putting in the work. We're up to 16 million blocks that it's mined, but it is deleting all the the main stuff, not main stuff, but all the different useless blocks is what I call them. I have no reason for any more of this stuff, so we're just more or less getting the ores and the resources that we need and just shipping the rest of them all off. This here, we was talking about the sand. This is my glass factory. We have the igneous extruder here making cobblestone, putting it into a sag mill, making gravel out of it, getting sucked out of there into here, and then into the alloy smelter making glass. And then more or less the same thing up here, where this is making the cobblestone, it's making gravel, making sand, and putting sand in there. This was something different that I hadn't never tried before, and I decided I was going to do it at least partially. We are making gears this way. I always thought it was pretty neat watching this be done. If we go in here, I don't know if I've got any. Let's make an Electrum gear. So we hit that, and you will see. Oh wait, no, that's not the one. That's not all of them are done that way. Wait a minute. Why aren't all my gears showing up? Oh, there they are. I know copper is. So if we do that, you'll see it comes over here, makes it, and then this interface will suck it up. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it was a way to keep from having to put another crafter up with a recipe in it, because I've already got a lot of stuff in auto crafting as it is. That is getting on my nerves down there. I'm going to have to fix that, but I'll show you what it is in just a minute. We've got just a basic reactor set up here, not much. This only generates about 3,000 RF a tick, but once we got through the power and started getting a few resources, I wanted to get a better source of power, and this is where I kind of went with it. And this thing doesn't burn through much. It'll run every once in a while. I've got it set up to shut on and off at like 90%, I think it is. So that's kind of that. This is just some more storage for some of the, stuff that we're getting a lot of. Especially different ingots. I've got all the ingots set up to, not all the ingots, but the main ingots that we use set up to where they're automatically smelted and then they're put into these storage units. This was the first woot farm that I did, and it was for food and for leather. I had issues finding cows. There's other ways of getting leather, but I decided, hey, we need to get into this. Now, as far as woot farms go, I actually have all the stuff for the woot farms set up for auto crafting. So we can throw a woot farm together in no time and be done with it, which is kind of what I've been doing. They're eventually all going to go to the void dimension to where they're all together. So that's kind of where it is with that. Now, this right here, this is my pride and joy. My Sky Factory playthrough, the one thing I hated more than anything was standing around waiting for these things and having to fill them up. I have automated this. So if we want to craft that, we can do it. And how are we able to do that? With this mod right here. It's called XNet. We have this crafter here that puts everything into this chest, and then from that chest excuse me, the XNet stuff takes over. And if I can do this without messing anything up, I will show you what is underneath here. We have a great big conglomerate of cables that run underneath here that will put, you can put each channel, you can choose what you want each one to do. So we've got this one just to extract anything that gets put in the chest, and then for each one of the different injectors, we've got it set up for what we need for the recipe. So right now where we're doing, we need this channel where we're doing the awakened cores, it will put a piece of awakened zirconium in 5 different ones, and then in the last 4 it puts a single wyvern core, and then inside of the core it will put in the part that it needs to craft it. Now, the only problem that I have had with this is figuring out how to extract and input the same thing, or not the same thing, but in the same line on the cable. So even though I've got the ZNet hooked up, or the XNet hooked up to it, I've got just the Ender IO conduit hooked up to it to pull everything out of it. So as I need a different recipe for it, I can just do that and hook it up in there, set the program for it, and it's not really that hard. I've already done these. Now we're going to be doing the Empowerer pretty soon to set all that up on for automation, and we're going to set it up the same way that we've done this. So when we go to do that, I will make sure to bring you all with me and explain everything through it. This is actually a fairly easy mod to use, and it is absolutely great. I love it. So we're going to let those go and go on to our next area here. I built this area down here. It started off as just an area for us to start getting UU matter, and we're still not making it very quick. There's something that I want to work on. It's something that I've wanted to do, period. Anyways, I started doing it in Infinity Involved and never got too involved with it. But I want to definitely get to the part where we're being able to autocraft whatever we want to using UU matter. I want to create a RF tools world with it if it's possible, and go with that. So that's where we're at with that. I haven't done much, but we're going to get to that. This here is my ore processing and all my auto crafting stuff. These are all set up. Each one of these has a different ore that goes in it, and the only reason why I have it set up that way is because when I started it, I had about 4,000 of each individual ores that I needed to do, so I just made one for each of them and been done with it. These two down here are actually set up with auto crafting to do the different Ender IO alloys. And then all these down here are, well, you can just see what happened. These are the constructor planes. They're like the formation cores from Applied Energistics. Every time a ore that needs to be mined gets mined into the system, it will put it down here, because the ore resource miner up there silk touches everything, and there's no way of changing it. So it'll place them. We've got Fortune 3 books inside of these things. This is a mechanical miner from Extra Utilities. It'll mine it, goes in there, and gets sucked into the system. And then on here we've got all the different setups for the different patterns and stuff that we needed for making the disc and stuff for refined storage. This is where all the auto crafting stuff is being stored at for, you know, all the different auto crafting. If it doesn't involve a process, it's in here. And then I've got, you know, any items that need processing. You know, like we got the induction smelter here where it takes 2 different ingots to make a certain ingot. We've got it going in here. We've got this one set up. I think the only thing it is doing is, yeah, it's just the nether quartz. And then if we go back here, this is going to get sucked up. I'll get it out. We have a bunch of wires and everything running around. So we got import buses on all these. It's sucking the items out, putting it into the system. I don't know if I can get, that didn't look good. I don't know if I can get up top to, oh, I can. So we got the crafters on these, and then there's export buses that's exporting all the different ores into all the SAG mills, and then we've got one interface connected to them to suck all of them out. I figured that was an easier way of doing it. We got, you know, the Ender IO conduit running straight into the interface, and it puts everything right back in there nice and easy peasy. And then you come around here, we've got all the different crafters hooked up to this for all the different processors and stuff. And then we'll clear that out. Can't get back there anyway, so it's just at one spot. Because much like AE2, any of these blocks that are touching each other do not need, you know, this one will communicate with the system because it's touching this one, and then, you know, so on and so forth. So I've got just the one spot hooked up to the system there, and everything else is connected to it. So that's kind of what my ore processing. I don't need that. Where's my other ones? Oh, over here. Now, the reason why I have this thing set up is because with using these mechanical miners, you get XP that was just laying around. So these absorption hoppers will pick up any of the XP, and it's put in this drum. And as you can see, we've got quite a bit of XP from these miners. So that is more or less this room. This is a chicken farm. We've got quite a bit of chicken out of it. And I think that's it for this area. We've got one more spot to go, and that is down here. This is going to be the Botania area, and I just got started with it. I've not done much. This is as far as the Botania goes that I've done. You can see I got a mana pool set up, but I have not put anything inside of it. But as far as mana generation goes, we've got that covered. I've got this farm set up that's just pouring blaze rods out. But also, I found out that these things will actually produce XP, and they produce it in the form of these shards. And when you right click it, it will give you XP. Well, I was like, well, I want to find a way to automate it to where when I want to get some XP, I don't want to sit and have to right click a whole bunch of times to get it. So I come up with this. We've got this sucking all of it out of the quantum storage unit and putting it into a mechanical user that is right clicking the item. We've got absorption hoppers sucking it up. It was going into a drum, but this drum got filled up. I need to take this back upstairs. But as you can see, we've got 1,100 levels in it, and it is absolutely just worked out great. One thing I wanted to see, not craftables. I don't have any speed upgrades. I don't have any speed upgrades there. I don't know what I did with all my speed upgrades. I'm wondering if I put speed upgrades in here, if it'll do it faster. Well, we'll find that out later together. That is pretty much it. That's kind of what I've been doing. It's been getting to this point where I've only been playing a little bit at a time. Has been quite the painstaking process. We did finally get up out of a hobbit hole, and we built us a house. It's not much of a house, but it is more of a house than I have built in a long time. Now, this all stuff is done with the architecture craft. That is this block right here. And you can make a bunch of different stuff. It's got roof blocks, it's got round blocks in it. I'm not exactly sure what all this stuff is. I had messed with it, but you've got different window things. You can make arches, and then you've got railings, which is where these railings come in. The rest of this stuff was done with chiseling bits. All the little grates down here, chiseling bits on both sides. And just the porch itself, I spent about 5 hours one night. Matter of fact, I think it wasn't but a couple nights after I recorded the last video that we done in here, that I did that. And let me tell you, chiseling bits is absolutely great when it comes to doing stuff like this. But it is one of the most painstaking processes that it is, because it will break down, it breaks every single block down into individual little chunks to build stuff with, and you can create some crazy stuff with it. Matter of fact, I built this cover right here out of chiseling bits because I couldn't get anything else to work to where it covered up that. And I could probably go back in here and take this out and put all this, cover this up too, but I decided to leave it that way. But I think that's it. The other bench that's out here is from DecoCraft, and I really haven't messed with it a whole lot. I did the porch. I was Was actually trying to put a swing up here, but between using slabs and this floor is actually done out of chiseling bits. With doing all of that, it would not place the way I wanted it to, so I went with a rocking chair and a little table, and that was it. So I think that's it. I don't think there was anything else. I want to get away from that noise. Let's go stand up here on my great big ball. Oh, we do have our nanobot beacon. We are completely buffed out. We've got everything maxed that I wanted to get maxed. We don't have to eat anymore. We've got flight. Matter of fact, I can take the flight out of it now. Because we've got our draconic armor. I have upgraded all this. It's stuff that we had done in our last series, and it's one of those processes that doesn't make for good videos, so I went ahead and done that. So as far as where we are still going to go with this series, there are a lot of mods left that I haven't even touched. We've more or less just been getting the foundation going for what we need. I want to get into a lot of the IC2 stuff that I hadn't messed with before. I want to completely automate Botania. I want to get into blood magic. I want to work on automating as much of that as I can. I want to automate all the stuff from actually additions. Basically, I'm wanting to go through, for the most part, for mod to mod, learn it and get it figured out, and figure out a way to automate it, because we're about 2 months away from expert mode, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to get into expert mode, but expert mode is not for the faint at heart, but we're going to get there. I'm enjoying myself immensely playing with the 1.10 mods. There's a lot of stuff I still miss from 1.7, but I'm having a blast with these 1.10 mods. So with that, it's great to be back. I have missed doing this. We are going to try to get back on a more regular routine now that things have calmed down at work. So, like I said, I'll have this video up. We'll put the last video, Sky Factory, up. I've said it in that video. I'll put it in this video too. I am looking for a HQM map to play. Something with quests, something that's kind of like Project Ozone, something like that, to do a series on. It doesn't necessarily have to be 1.10. I would prefer it to be that way, but if you all want to see something other than 1.10, you want to see something 1.7 or even 1.11, just let me know and we will go from there. Vanilla series, I'm still not exactly sure whether or not I want to do it or not. I've messed around some in that world, but there's not, I haven't done much. But we'll see. So anyways, where am I going here? Oh yeah, we're done for the day. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm glad to be back. I hope you all are looking forward to what's to come. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.